Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Yang berbahagia Profesor Dr. Nordin Yahya, Director Higher Education Leadership Academy, short form AKEPT. Yang berbahagia Profesor Datuk Insinyur Dr. Muhammad Hamdi Abdul Syukur, the Vice Chancellor, Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia. Our honorable guests. Welcome to the AKEPT-UKM Talk, Global Series webinar. The title is Entering the New Realm of International Higher Education. This event is organized by AKEPT with a collaboration with Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia. So this morning or anywhere you are, whether it's evening or greatly in the morning, we have over 400 registered participants. To name a few, they are from Mexico, UK, Singapore, Indonesia, India, Japan, Costa Rica, Jordan, Taiwan, France, Guatemala, Hong Kong, and so on. Of course, Malaysia. Allow me to introduce a bit of what is AKEPT. Okay, AKEPT is Higher Education Leadership Academy. The Higher Education Leadership Academy has its mission that is to develop and strengthen the leadership of Malaysia higher education. This is one of the core of the National Higher Education Strategic Plan launched in 2007. Subsequently, the Malaysian Education Blueprint 2015 to 2025, which clearly states the need to develop current and future higher education leadership talents. UKM, on the other hand, is the National University of Malaysia, or UKM. Okay, the National University of Malaysia is one of 6 prominent research universities in Malaysia. It was established in 1970 and ranked among the top 200 in the world by QS World Ranking recently. UKM will be celebrating its 50th anniversary this 18 May 2020. Alhamdulillah. Ladies and gentlemen, AKEPT-UKM Talk will have a 4 series. So this is our first Webex series. So we have 3 more series coming up, and each series will have its own theme and speakers. This program aims to discuss the impact that the current COVID-19 has had on international higher education and how universities are reacting to the situation. The pandemic is changing our way of teaching and learning environment in the university. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, on behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to invite Yang Berbahagia Profesor Muhammad Hamdi Abdul Syukur, Vice Chancellor, Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia, to deliver his welcoming speech.
Okay, Assalamualaikum and very good morning to everyone. Yang Berbahagia Prof. Dr. Nordin Yahya, Director Higher Education Leadership Academy, AKEPT, Senior Management of AKEPT, Senior Management of UKM, distinguished panelists, ladies and gentlemen. First and foremost, UKM is truly honored to be trusted by the AKEPT, the Ministry of Higher Education Malaysia, in organizing this first global webinar series entitled Entering the New Realm of International Higher Education. We believe this first edition in a planned series of 4 global seminars will allow knowledge to be imparted, discussions to take place, and new ideas to be formed. AKEPT-UKM collaboration hopes to significantly contribute to the development of international higher education in Malaysia in positioning ourselves as a global force. For UKM, we are indeed very, very grateful, and the collaboration is even more timely because we are going to be 50 years of age on the 18th of May, just a couple of days from today. We hope that this collaboration will truly prosper towards academic excellence. Ladies and gentlemen, 2019 marks a year where the whole world have been challenged by this COVID-19. Our everyday lives and the whole world have been impacted greatly due to the global health crisis that was created by the pandemic. The changes in social interaction and organization across the world in view of the fact that the spread of COVID and higher education sector is neither exempted. So ladies and gentlemen, COVID-19 has changed a lot of our life norms. People are now more aware of precautions for this pandemic. Interpersonal contact has been reduced with the practice of a new mantra called social distancing or physical distancing, and thereby minimize the kind of community transmission that would quickly develop in our social network like the university. Therefore, universities have to fine-tune our style of education from the traditional face-to-face to electronics and online learning approaches. We admit that there are lots of challenges in implementing a full online teaching learning experience. We are also reinventing student mobility and also engaging in new forms of strategic partnership and developing stronger relations with relevant ministries and institutions. But this is a step that we have to take to be challenged with new innovations in solving current problems. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now entering what we call as the new norm. In line with that, our webinar today is extremely timely, entitled Entering the New Realm of International Higher Education. We will be discussing the impact of the COVID-19 on international higher education, and hopefully we can share our experience, how universities are reacting to the situation. It also follows through the plan of action done by universities from different parts of the world in dealing with this global battle. The universities have to accelerate their speed of transformation in adapting to these new challenges. To mitigate the impact of these challenges require huge commitment and kind of a shift of mindset in all university communities, from the leadership till the students alike, to think innovatively and work collaboratively. This is an opportunity, actually, for universities to strengthen through collaboration, creates an impact in the academic world with a diversity and inclusivity in mind. I believe that such a webinar session will provide participants with input on practical competencies and knowledge transfer in response to this evolving landscape of higher education. We should be able to explore strategic management decision-making process and also to cope with challenges of higher education globally. Let us use this platform to share and to exchange ideas, sharing of best practices, so that we will be able to get the best out of the practices from our colleagues from the whole world. I wish to thank the Higher Education Leadership Academy, AKEPT, for this collaboration and for their confidence in organizing the event with Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia, UKM. We really look forward to further empower this strategic partnership in the future. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I wish all of you a productive day ahead, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Yang Berbahagia, Professor Datuk, for the enthusiastic and inspiring speech. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it is now my pleasure to invite Professor Dr. Nordin Yahya, Director Higher Education Leadership Academy, AKEPT, to give a speech.
Thank you, Hafiz.
Yes.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Berbahagia Profesor Datuk Dr. Muhammad Hamdi Abdul Syukur, the Vice Chancellor of the University, National University of Malaysia, UKM. Moderator, Associate Professor Dr. Abdul Latif Ahmad, Director of International Relations Center, UKM. Honorable panelists, we have 4 panelists from Japan, Mexico, Malaysia, and the Philippines. Professor Shingo Ishizawa from Toyo University and UMAP, Professor Adriana Rojas Martinez from Technological de Monterrey, Mexico, Professor Datuk Dr. Norazah Muhammad Nordin, Dean Faculty of Education, UKM, Anthony Lily Freda Mila from Commission on Higher Education, Philippines. Ladies and gentlemen, Ramadan Kareem. I wish to extend a very warm welcome to all participants of AKEPT UKM Talk Global Series webinar number 1. We have 3 more this year, and the title for webinar 1 is entering the new realm of international higher education. This is a good platform for our leaders to keep up to date with the latest conversations in the sector. We are glad that we have more than 400 participants from more than 20 countries, from as far as USA, Bolivia, Japan, Australia, as mentioned by our MC just now. Although we are facing a lot of challenges during COVID-19 pandemic and MCO regulation and whatnot, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the the National University of Malaysia, UKM, as AKEPT strategic partner in making this talk series a success. Thank you to the UKM global team, headed by Dr. Abdul Latif, for your commitment and diligence as AKEPT's collaborator. I would like to wish happy 50th anniversary to UKM. Happy birthday, UKM.
Thank you.
To those from abroad and new to Malaysia higher education, as introduced by our MC just now, AKEPT is one of the departments under the Ministry of Higher Education Malaysia that focuses on identifying, compiling, profiling, developing and sustaining the leadership talent pool for higher education institutions in Malaysia. So this is one of the programs that we got organized. The AKEPT Talk is a series of intellectual discourses organized by AKEPT since 2016. It aims to provide platforms for leaders from higher education institutions in Malaysia particularly, but now we are opening to international participants, to be exposed to the practices and values of leadership, and as to nurture them into successful leaders in the academia. Although through this talk series, participants gain knowledge on academic leadership, academic management, and institutional leadership from renowned experts and practitioners. Among the issues addressed in previous series of talks in the past years include the evolution of universities, the past, present, and future roles of university leadership, solutions in raising the quality of higher education institutions. The structure of the talk series varied from talks to panel sessions. However, this is our first webinar edition of the talk series. This is one of the changes that we had to implement because of COVID-19 pandemic. Previously, we have our session in our premise at AKEPT, where we have the auditorium that accommodate up to 300 people. But it is better now because we can accommodate people more than 300 people using webinar. Ladies and gentlemen, the COVID-19 pandemic has affected all sectors, as mentioned by Professor Hamdi just now. Through this program, we aim to share experiences of our panel of experts on how higher education institutions from various countries could plan and better manage the impacts of this pandemic. Through this program, we believe that participants will gain crucial leadership competencies and skills while exploring strategic planning and good decision making to cope better with the changes and transformation needed. There is no standard model of running a university with all the challenges. That said, in light of this global crisis with emphasis on efficiency and cost effectiveness, this first series of AKEPT Talk for year 2020 attempts to invite participants to contemplate probably on the following topics that probably the panelists will elaborate further. What should higher education leaders do? How might universities react and ensure their survival and relevance during this crisis, for example? How might we develop resilience of the higher education institutions? How crucial is change-making culture in our institutions? We hope that at the end of the program, participants will gain invaluable knowledge to cope with the challenges of leading institutions during this COVID-19 crisis. We hope that the insights gained through this program shape the thought and the thinking process of participants, which could then be used to drive sustainable growth of higher education institutions. particularly in today's ever-changing higher education landscape. It takes a community to run a university. Let's put together our efforts. I think we should continue to collaborate. We'll be able to ensure the excellence of our education system. With that, I would like to wish all participants every success and hope that the learning experience from this program will further enhance our knowledge and leadership skills. Thank you again to UKM for co-organizing this program. I wish all of you the very best. We are all in this challenge together. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you very much, Yang Berbahagia Professor Dr. Nordin, for that very thoughtful speech. Okay, before we proceed with the next section, there's a few housekeeping notes here. I would like, on behalf of the organizers, to inform that all the participants to mute your microphone so that our event will go more smoothly. The Q&A sessions will be at the end of the presentation. Please forward your questions to all panelists. What you see on the screen will only be the panelists. So that is those are the few things that I would like to inform our distinguished guests. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, to begin with our AKEPT-UKM talk, Global Series 1, now I'm handing over these sessions to our very own Associate Professor, Dr. Abdul Latif Ahmad, Director for UKM Global, Universiti Kebangsaan, Malaysia. Over to you, Dr. Latif.
Assalamualaikum, Hafiz.
Waalaikumsalam.
Thank you very, very much for the warm welcome. Professor Dato' Senior Dr. Muhammad Hamdi Abdul Syukur, Vice Chancellor of the National University of Malaysia, Universiti Kebangsaan, Malaysia. Professor Dr. Nordin Yahya, Director, Higher Education Leadership Academy, AKEPT. Thank you, everyone here today. I welcome all of you to the AKEPT-UKM Talk Global Series Webinar 1, Entering the New Realm of International Higher Education. We are definitely very, very grateful to AKEPT, the Higher Education Leadership Academy, that has ventured with us together to approach the new norm of education in terms of sharing information for all of you here today. And I'm glad to see that right now there's over 366 participants here already, and they're coming from different parts of the world. We welcome that from 23 different countries, yeah, Hafiz, that has actually registered. So, and I'm so touched to see people from France and United Kingdom who are here today, because it's almost 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning in their country. So we hope that this will benefit them through sacrificing their sleep at the same time. And to those in America, in the United States of America, and also in Mexico, Colombia, Bolivia, if you want to know how tomorrow is going to be like, well, you're looking at it here in Malaysia at the moment. First of all, I am truly appreciative of everyone being here. And also welcome everyone from Malaysia at the same time, from the International Office and various universities, private and public universities in Malaysia, who has decided to attend today's session. Well, entering the new realm of education. When COVID-19 hit all of us, everyone has to scramble and move on. And each time it's always a challenge. As we talk about the new normal, we're talking about what are the steps that we as academic institutions have to do and have to take place. And we are very happy today to have 4 distinguished panelists to actually share their experiences in what has happened within their respective fields back home in their respective regions. I am so honored to have 4 amazing individuals. We've got Prof. Shingo Ashizawa from Toyo University, and also the Deputy Secretary General of University Mobility of Asia Pacific. We've got Professor Adriana Rojas Martinez, the Director of Asia Pacific Region, Tecnológico de Monterrey. We've also got Professor Dato' Dr. Norazah Muhammad Nordin, the Dean of Faculty of Education, Universiti Kebangsaan, Malaysia. And we've also got Attorney Lily Freda, who is from the High Commission of Higher Education, Republic of the Philippines. We are truly grateful for that. Now, with what we've gone through, top words like COVID-19 have been the buzzword of the year. But aside from that, words like Google Meetup, WebEx, and also Zoom has been a very popular word that's been used, as that's how we're practicing with our new norm in education. Let's hear what our participants will share, our panelists will share today, and I would be honored to firstly introduce the first panel. And it is the first panel is Professor Shingo Ashizawa. He is a professor at Toyo University in Tokyo. His research involves the comparative study of higher education, management, and quality analysis of the internationalization review process. Currently, Prof. Ashizawa is leading a joint research project supported by the Japanese government agency JSPS. Now, Prof. Ashizawa has actually come up with various publications, and among the highlighted ones are the impact of Tokyo Recognition Convention and digital student portability, and also student mobility trends and role of university networks in the Asia-Pacific region. And this is definitely something that we can look forward to in our discussions today. Prof. Ashizawa is also serving as the Deputy Secretary General for UMAP as of 2016. Now, he teaches a number of courses, including immigration and cross-cultural issues and international student mobility. Now, as a Fulbright scholarship grantee, Prof. Ashizawa studied at Harvard Graduate School of Education, and his past professional experience include positions at the Council on International Educational Exchange, and also Keio University, Osaka University, and Meiji University. I would firstly like to invite Professor Shingo Ashizawa to share his presentation today. Thank you.
Thank you, Latif.
Thanks.
It's a very kind introduction. And I'd like to say thank you for all the participants, particularly Dr. Shuko and Dr. Yahaya and other distinguished guests. I really we like to, on behalf of Toyo University, I like to forward our sincere gratitude, and also I really would like to celebrate UKM's anniversary. Congratulations. So I'd like to start with my presentation. As Latif mentioned, I'm researching on the comparative study of recognition process and the digitalization of credential evaluation. But today I'm mainly talk about student mobility. So now I'm trying to share. So I'm getting last 2 weeks. I'm very getting used to the system, but still sometimes I'm struggling. So maybe you may witness how I'm not technical savvy. But I like to talk about my own responsibility at the UMAP, University Mobility in Asia and the Pacific. As of 2016, I'm serving as a Deputy Secretary General of UMAP. I will talk about UMAP later. And my university is the largest comprehensive university with 13 departments, and enrollment is 32,000. We are located in central Tokyo. So now I'm talking about the background, what we are talking about today. So as already Latif mentioned, that we are almost every university have a strong impact right now of COVID-19. So let's say limited immigration windows for newly admitted students. And actually, one of my students, my seminar student, still in Hong Kong. So I give a lecture to him online, which is a really unusual situation, but he is not allowed to come into Japan in this condition. So this is quite sad starting. So I have never met any freshman yet physically. So I met online, but started 2 weeks ago. I haven't met any of them yet, and no exchange so far. So only 2 students from Toyo is outside of Japan currently, but all of them, all other students all came back to Japan, and no short-term program for summer language program yet. and we are not planning to any internship on the fieldwork. So currently, Japan Association for International Student Education, I'm actually board member of this organization. We are conducting a national survey, and we found quite strong message from our international students. So we will work on this survey to make more situation visible. So we are rigorously working on this program. And as you know, at least 5 years, many experts found this damage is not really easy to recover, minimum of 5 years or more. So we really have to deal with difficult situation. So today I like to talk about what we can do. Maybe rescheduling their plan, students' plan, or we should move on more rigorously online or joint program. So I like to talk about remedy of the program. I think maybe hybrid program can be a good solution for the next few years. But I like to hear your voice. So please give a feedback from yours. Okay. So now I would like to talk about the UMAP right from now on, but UMAP has not have a official board meeting, a first board meeting yet. So we need to really discuss what type of program we can develop for next 2 years. So this is still premature to say that this is from UMAP, but I personally propose several ideas. And if you are interested in, or if you agree, maybe we can jointly propose these ideas to our board meeting. One idea is relatively easy process. I think every single university, almost every single university, offer the courses online. Maybe we can open some of the courses and we can allow other university students to take your courses. That's a cross-registration model online. So each school offers a minimum 5 or 6 programs, 5 or 6 courses, and this is a mutually tuition waiver system. So students can take other courses from different countries. That might be an option for our students to take some diversity exposure. And on your right side, I like to seek the opportunity to do online joint classrooms. So basically, team teaching online. We call it virtual exchange or COIL, but there are so many ways to call this, name this type of programs. But basically, fee-based program, but team teaching online. Maybe we can do hybrid, so both online course and maybe short-term face-to-face courses. So maybe we can combine those new programs. Actually, I have to say that university parents, students are suffered very, very difficult and suffered, and also they are in a difficult situation financially. So maybe we cannot afford long-term program as we used to do. So short-term program, low cost, low risk, and cost-efficient program can be implemented. So maybe hybrid is a better way to do this. And on the top of those programs, we may be able to propose online joint programs like let's say we used to do a model UN. So students get together doing a model UN, United Nations. But maybe we can do online model UN or student research council online. Those type of program can be done very cost efficient way. So now many of you have heard about UMAP, I believe, but UKM contribute as a chair country for 4 years. I really appreciate the contribution made by UKM to UMAP. But UMAP is University Mobility in Asia and Pacific. It started 1991. This is the original picture. At that point, leader of the university and the government dreamed about Asian version of Erasmus. The scale of our mobility has not been grown that as a European model yet, but we are now very good news. First time United States become an official secretariat. So now any university in US can join. And also Carleton University in Australia become a national secretariat for Australia. So now two major countries join UMAP. So 21 countries are our partners. So unfortunately we are COVID-19 situation, but we have a good number of partner countries and partner schools. So we should be able to do something through this network. One thing I like to mention that last year we have a very good, interesting program, UMAP COIL program. It's a exactly hybrid program. Students get together online for pre-academic study, and they came to Osaka in Japan. They get together, study together, and they cruise in Japan, and then Korea and Russia, and come back to Japan. So they travel together and study together. So COIL is a very interesting model because you can do all kinds of things online. Many team teaching can be done online, and the student can get together from overseas, and then this model is finally they get together on the board. So this final project can be done on the board. So this is a good model we did. So hopefully we will be able to expand this type of hybrid model. So now I like to talk about the professional development. So university in Asia and Pacific can work together for the professional development, and also like this webinar, we were sharing information and knowledge. So currently in Japan, organization called Lexi. I'm also a member of board member of this organization. On your right side hand, we have annual meetings, and then university administrators or international educators get together to learn each other. On your left side is a more informal Facebook group. Please join this group. This picture was last year annual meeting. Dara Deodor from AIEA gave a workshop and a keynote. So last year 220 people came, not only from Japan, Korea, and US, and China. So hopefully we will have more people. And also this year we decided to do both online and on-site. So I will explain later. And also similar to this event, we have a special webinar series. What can we do international education during the COVID-19 pandemic? So from 1 to 4, series 1 to 4 were conducted in Japanese language, but from 5 to 7, we will do in English. So please join us. And I like to ask some individual to be maybe commentators for this event. So if I email you, please do not say no. Probably I will bug you for the next few weeks. So please join either participant or commentators. Thank you. And as I mentioned, this summer, September 2nd and 4th, Kansai University will host our International Education Conference. And this is offered both online and on-site. So you can join and talk to the people through online if you are not able to travel. So I hope you can join and meet in Osaka. I love to do this face-to-face as much as possible, but if it's not easy, we like to invite you virtual meeting. Anyway, I will just quickly show the video. Please visit this website. You can see the video from different voices, how we develop a professional development scheme. So please visit the Lexi website, and the first page is you can watch a video from last year's conference. Okay, thank you so much. And I celebrate anniversary, and also I celebrate this event is a very, very challenging and very successful program, and I hope we collectively work together to come over this COVID-19 issue. Terima kasih.
Thank you. Arigato gozaimasu, Prof. Shingo. Thank you so much for sharing the input of UMAP. Now, this is also an opportunity for other members. Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia has actively participated, and we were one of the chair for UMAP, University Mobility of the Asian Pacific. And we have gained so much privilege in the sense that we've got the opportunity to increase our network, and our student mobility benefits have definitely been extensive. And we truly appreciate that, and we hope the relationship will also maintain for the near future as well, Prof. Ashizawa. Thank you very much. I would like to now introduce you to the second panelist. But before that, I'd like to share a quote taken from the University World News with a headline titled, "Universities must help shape the post-COVID-19 world." Now, the world will never be the same again. This is perhaps the least hazardous prediction one can make about the consequence of the COVID-19 crisis. Now, this crisis will surely change all societal institutions, not just the healthcare sector. The precise nature of that change is, at this time, unknowable. So it is a very challenging time. Going into this new realm, it's just like taking an excerpt from a song from the movie Frozen, actually. It is going into the unknown, actually. Yeah? But it's quite interesting to see how universities would react and accept this new challenge. And with that, I would like to introduce you to Professor Adriana Rojas Martinez as our second panelist today from Tecnológico de Monterrey. And Professor Martinez is a professional specialized on corporate affairs, communications, international strategy, negotiations, fundraising, and international protocol. And she has had several positions: Director of the Language Center, Manager of the CMAX International Management Program, International License Office Director at Boston, and also International License Office Director at Yale University, Director of International Protocol Honors Programs and Communication, and she's currently the Director of Asia Pacific International Development. Now, Professor Martinez has been promoting the collaboration with Ivy League universities and the top universities and associations in Asia Pacific countries, through the project's development, and has been active in various forums and consortium. I know that Tecnológico de Monterrey are members of the Asia Pacific Rim University, APRU, UAF, RIMEC, API, APAC, and ONE. Now, we are very, very honored to have her here. And she has had academic experience in Mexico, teaching Asian studies, Mexican and Latin American culture, Japanese language, international perspective, international negotiation, and so she's been invited as speakers across the world. Now, I met these amazing women in the university's administrators workshop in National Taiwan University, and I was so engaged listening to her out-of-the-box ideas and excellent presentation. So I would like to cordially invite you, Professor Adriana Rojas Martinez, for your presentation.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Latif, and thank you for all the dear friends and colleagues from Malaysia, from UKM. Again, congratulations for your anniversary. For me, it's unbelievable that my last trip was to Malaysia. So I was with you like in February, and we started to hear about what was happening in the world. So now, incredibly, we are here. Thank you very much, Latif, and thank you for the colleagues. And I'm trying to start sharing my presentation. I'm also not good on technology, but I'm doing my best. So, and I'm also putting in front of me my timer because I know who I am and you too, Latif, so I can keep talking and talking. So 20 minutes. And so thank you very much, everybody, for being here. And as I'm telling you, it's a great honor to be here. And thank you for the colleagues for the professors and everybody who is giving us a little bit of the time. So a wonderful question, the new realm, how to embrace it. And the world is now on a threat of human health, prosperity. And I was reading psychology a couple of weeks ago, and she said, you know, when people is afraid, they are in the survival mode. So I was like, panic, how survival mode? We maybe can be in a survival mode, but for a good future, because we are living a wonderful, wonderful present. So my presentation will be divided in 3 sections. First, I want to show you who we are, Tec de Monterrey, a Mexican university with lovely partners all around Asia. You just told Latif, I'm in love of Asia since a long time ago. So I'm part of you, and all the time I'm promoting the links between the world, and I all the time say my colleagues and my students that we are closer than what we imagine. So we just have to jump, and we are there. And now just with a click, we are with you. So first I will talk a little bit about what is Tec de Monterrey and how we challenge this amazing experience of COVID-19. So then we will make some reflections about it. And so I will start telling Tec de Monterrey is an institution that started in 1943 from the leadership of a businessman who was thinking in the challenges in that time of how to work together and create a university that originally was just for engineering, and then we became a comprehensive university. Now, after some years, we grew and we are one of the largest private universities in Latin America. We are now divided in 6 schools, 5 regions, and we have more than 90,000 students all over the country. At the same time, this was our challenge. So we have a presence all over the world. We have offices all around the world, and we usually move around 7,000, 8,000 students per year. At the same time, we receive around 5,000 students per year. This time and this spring, we were planning to send more than 3,000 students to the world. And sometimes we receive a great surprise. So 3 months ago, and you remember I was with you in Malaysia, it was in February, just one country stopped education. That was our lovely friends in China. Then, 1 month later, 17 countries stopped education. Now, almost the complete world have to stop education. And we could see this amazing first page of The Economist that say, the world is closed. So is really the world closed? We're not sure. We're challenged by that. So what about the area of international education and also the education by itself? So just 60% of education could continue. Why? Because not all the countries have the access to the technology. So what that means, not everybody can go online. And that is one of the first challenges we do have as educators. Then, if we talk about international education, we can say that more than 200 million of international students could not go to study on campus. And finally, another thing that I learned from colleagues is that international education moves around $300 million US. So that is the reality. That is what we were living. So being this university and having students all over the world, we needed to start and we needed to be creative. We have to deal with the change. And we were the first Mexican university that decided to stop activities before that the government say education is stopped. So can you imagine how everything was asking why Tec de Monterrey is stopping? What's going on in the world? So 1 week later, all the countries stop education. So we have to think together. We have to put minds together, minds and hands together. So Tec de Monterrey decided to create 13 committees working together in a national and international strategy. What that means, we need to think about academics, health, research, perspective, and of course, international. And I'm not talking just, when we talk about international, we just don't think on the students going and coming, but of how the international partners can work together with us. And I want to all the time make a gratitude message to all the partners all around the world that give a hand. And I want to tell you that, for example, a big challenge we always had was the economic sustainability and how we work it out, how we make that our students can come and continue their studies. And I want to mention, for example, the solidarity of our Korean partners who immediately sent a message of telling, okay, your students could not come, here you have your money. And we say, thank you very much. And I was telling my colleagues, my Asian partners, they are just a matter of honor, gratitude, a friendship. So that is something that I really appreciate, and all the time I tell my colleagues here in Mexico, and that's why we like a lot to work together. So we have to move forward together, and we started to create what we call now a flexible digital model that could reach and have to reach many things together. We need to find an academic continuity. We need to boost the skills of everybody through the partners and the partnerships. We need to also do local agreements that could help our community, and our community is people that live around the campuses in the cities where we have a campus. We have to show a psychological support, because everybody being at home needs to think in good things, not just in the things that talks about bad news. So that's why we created what we call Life at Home. And we will see a little bit of these initiatives during my presentation. So a great point to tell, we need to rethink and stop on our values: innovation, integrity, collaboration, empathy and inclusion, and global citizenship. And I want to add empathy, solidarity, confidence. We have to work even closer of what we did before. So not just the academics together, but with administrators and with staff and with friends, with international partners. So we needed to start change the mindset. Instead of talking about just exchange, why don't we talk about sharing? That in fact we were doing, but we didn't put in the top. We were always just like managing the word exchange. And yes, it's important and will be still important, but sharing is part of the core of what we have to do from now. So I want to stop in some of the initiatives. I just want to check if I'm fine with the time. And yes, 10 minutes. Good. So academic continuity, teaching together. So even that we were the first university in Mexico 20 years ago who started to teach virtually, and until last semester, all the students mandatory had to study at least one class on virtual. It's not the same to have 50,000 online courses per week. So it's not the same to take one class 1 hour per week that have 10 hours online. So we had to stop. We decided to stop. We decided, and we know that we didn't know everything of technology, and we started to share. So we had one full immersion for everybody to be online. So we stop activities and we say, okay, professors, staff, everybody, we need to be in the top of technology, and we need to start co-creating, not just with the national professors, but also with our friends abroad. So I put here one of my classes of that week. And in that class, I was with a professor of mathematics, another high school professor of humanities, a coach of soccer, and myself, Asia Pacific Relations, together in a room learning how to use technology. And I also love to say these examples. All professors, we had a big challenge, and all my gratitude and all the admirable things they have done together, because they say, okay, we can and we will do it. So one day we needed to learn WebEx. Next week, Zoom, the other teams, and we need to be available and aware of our friends to teach and share together. And I want to say the example of a good friend who kindly invited me to teach a class. And he's from China, Shanghai, and he told me, we will teach a class at your 5 a.m. And I say, it's not a problem. We will use BOOB. That was the first time I listened that. That is the system in China for teaching. And we say, okay, I don't know what. Okay, let's learn together. So we had a wonderful class. And I know that this is just the start of amazing exchange and sharings together. And that's why also when my friends for UKM told me the webinar will be at your night, it's not a problem. Time is not a problem. Borders are not a problem. Technology are not a problem. Why? Because we're together in the same world and we can work it out. So the Tech 21 model also challenges us in projects. So we have projects to work together from the beginning of the semester as all the plannings. But suddenly the COVID came. So in our case, we decided to put together, for example, I taught this class that is Technology Tools for Social Sciences, that they were students from all over the country, creating a platform for sharing trust information that makes governors, ministers, educators to take decisions. I put this example because professors have to be together to change the challenge just in 1 week. And now we see, and that is why I say COVID, wonderful COVID, made us to be creative, to be innovators, and to put us in the table, the collaboration as a simple thing. And I also want to put here the example of a lovely partner we have in Singapore. So we have a pilot program of entrepreneurship, and we were planning to do an amazing program for next year. And now we have to change everything. So, and why it could be possible, because we have a lovely partner in Singapore, a university. We also have a lovely partnership with the government, I mean the embassies, the Mexican companies being at Singapore, all together work together. All together now have to rethink again, and international affairs have to be there, because we are those who put the last piece of the puzzle and then work together as a great team. So I also want to mention briefly that other things that internationally we are cooperating, we are thinking also what's going on after COVID-19. We need a think tank. So we're inviting researchers, we're inviting international friends who could work together in the different areas to find the newest scenarios for the world. This is another lovely thing I want to mention, and it's something we never have to forget. And this is something I like to talk a lot with my partners and my friends all over the world, the community link. We have a wonderful program in the south part of Mexico, a campus that is an amazing campus where a big communities of indigenous people live there. So we work with them. So when the COVID-19 came, we could not say, oh, sorry, we cannot keep on the project. No, we need to continue. And just had a conversation last week with my colleague from Australia and the director in Chiapas, and she told us, you know, here the homework has a face, so we have to continue. So now what's going on? Now this amazing community, who is San Andres La Raizar, who didn't have internet connection, so they did, of course, but just like with many problems, we had to solve that. We had to put the students together. We had to continue working with the community and create with them new solutions. Now you can see here in the film that now they are creating like mouth covers with the textiles they are doing. So we still keep working. I was thinking with the friends that we were thinking on doing like gradual shifts on international projects. We were thinking, oh yes, maybe in the future we can work together with indigenous centers. Now we need to accelerate that. That's why we are here, and that's why now the conversation I have with partners in Malaysia, in Australia, and New Zealand have to be real and have to be real very soon. We are also practicing in real life resilience. We need to help. We need to help in what we are good at. You learn statistics, okay, let's work and let's create what we need, not just in the country, but in the world with the partners. You are getting help, let's do that too. So almost finishing. I know I do have 4 more minutes. It's good time. So I wanna put here on the table this also important thing that we don't have to forget. We call life at home. It's mental health. Our extracurricular activities that we can work also together with the partners. I have to confess that, for example, I didn't know what was an e-sport, and now made me sense and made me think of, because I just told you that I have one of my colleagues taking a course with me was a soccer coach, and I was just asking what a soccer coach is doing here. Oh yes, he's preparing esports. He's still coaching because one day we will return to the campus, and we need to work together. At the same time, there are like amazing activities, and I just discovered with a good friend of mine who is in charge of this open reading activities, that she had participants from Mexico and also from Japan. So we say, okay, why don't we together? Why don't we exchange books? Why don't we can be together and have like a good mental activities? And I have a small present for you, but at the end, where also music can be possible, and technology, music companies can still put a smile in our faces. So coronavirus emergency make us work closer, make us appreciate what we do have. I also want to give all my gratitude to these amazing consortiums like APRU, like UMAP, like these amazing organizations who help us to put together initiatives and help us to see what others are doing, have ideas, and think together. I was just like wondering when my APRU colleagues talked to me about esports some months ago, I saw like quite far. Now it's just beside me. And I say, oh my God, how visionary they are. So thank you very much to all those consortiums, to all those great ideas. And also, I also want to put here the eMovies pilot program from the Inter-American University organization, who months ago said, okay, this is a pilot program for some virtual classes, exchanges, our Colombian partners. And now it's a reality. It's not a pilot program. It's a reality. So let's think together how we deal with the present. Will be online forever? Zero mobility? 1 year, 5 years, 10 years? Have you thought that Generation Z is a generation who loves what we are living now, teaching at home, flexibility, everything. How we will manage economic challenges too, and how we will manage this fact that is real, internationalization for everybody, not just for the 2% of the world students. That is now a reality. We want internationalization with the new realm from everybody. So what are the clues for me? Clear communication, to be innovative, flexible, to have solidarity, and I say friend partners. We need to rethink together and not be afraid of new academic, financial, and even recruit models. So, of course, I want all the friends here in Mexico. I want to keep traveling, but let's think together on what we're living now. I was just talking with a friend and telling him that 10 years ago, I was talking with Boston University about a virtual exchange, and it was quite a weird thing. Now it's not weird, it's what everybody is doing. So it's time for sharing. It's time for sharing values, resources, learnings, and it's a time for collaboration. We have to forget competition. We need to think together, academics, administrators, even what we call competitors. I talk with my friends from the National University, from the University of Nuevo León, from all over the world. We are just friends. We need to think on that, and of course, keep together with our embassies, with our governments, and work together. My time is over. And so we are one world team. We need empathy. We need confidence. And then we will have actions in solidarity together. I just want to leave you with this message that I love a lot. And with just 1 minute of the video, I want to show you. This is Matthew Ricard, a French monk and writer who said, "The past no longer exists. The future has not yet emerged, and the present, paradoxically, is both elusive. It never stops and immutable. As one famous physicist wrote, the present is the only thing that has no end. Cultivating full awareness of the present moment doesn't mean ignoring the lessons of the past or making plans for the future, but rather living lucidly the present experience that encompasses them." Matthew Ricard. So thank you very much. Terima kasih, xie, arigatou gozaimashita. And my dear friend Harvey, could you please give us 1 minute of the video? I wanted to give us a present for all the world from Mexico.
Que va por el camino, por brechas y veredas, buscando su destino. Escucho alegres trinos de la revolera, rumor de fresca brisa de tierra morena. Y miro en las espigas, dorados sus trigales, en olas que se mecen, muy verdes los maizales, y serpente a las bardas de piedras quebradas, casitas con horcones de adobe blanqueadas, la Virgen del Cerrito que alivia nuestros males, nos da sus bendiciones, milagros y bondades, con fe los mexicanos.
I just wanted that you feel the Mexican music together. So it's our students playing a mariachi song with a orchestra, with the support of the government, with the support of the companies, everybody singing from home, giving smiles to everybody. So I would love that you see this video in another time and that you get excited and happy with us. And don't forget to smile, don't forget to sharing. And thank you very much. Thank you. Terima kasih.
Thank you so much, Professor Martinez. Yeah.
Thank you.
We've learned so much, and it's interesting to talk about no more time zones, working with China, crossing whatever time frame that exists. It's also interesting when you talk about mental health issues, and these are some things that universities are also taking into consideration in terms of the importance of maintaining mental health, not just for the students, for the academics, and also the staff, and also those working from home with new challenges as being parents, having a family, and personal and professional divide, the challenges there as well. So it's quite interesting. Thank you very much. We'll get back to you after this for some Q&A by them participants. Yeah. Thank you very much. Next, I would like to introduce all of you to our third panelist, Professor Dr. Noraza Muhammad Nordin. Now, she is the most important person in the Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia. The Faculty of Education has a lot to do has a lot of planning and visioning on what the university will look like post-COVID-19, in the sense of how are we dealing with the whole new online platform, how ready we are, how we overcome challenges, and how we prepare the platform, and how we ready not only our students, but also our academics in this situation. Now, Professor Dr. Noraza is a professor in ICT, in education, and she's also the Dean of the Faculty of Education, Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia. Her research areas include MOOC, massive online open courses, mobile learning, ICT in lifelong learning, and instructional design in online learning and futuristic learning. And her current projects are the development of MOOCs, learning design in the Fourth Industrial Revolution, the Fourth Industrial Revolution cross-creative learning innovation for autism and learning spaces. She's an active member of the Asia-Europe Meeting, Lifelong Learning Hub, and representing Malaysia for Research Network 1, ICT Culture. Now, presently, she is also an editorial board member of the Internet and Higher Education and Elsevier Journal with a top quartile, a Q1 in the Web of Science. Now, it is my honor to invite Professor Dr. Noraza Muhammad Nordin to share your presentation.
Thank you, Prof. Latif. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning. Thank you, Prof. Latif. Yang berbahagia Profesor Dato' Insinyur Dr. Muhammad Hamdi Abdul Syukur, the Vice Chancellor of Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia. Yang berbahagia Profesor Dr. Nordin Yahya, Director Higher Education, AKEPT, Higher Education Leadership Academy AKEPT. Distinguished panelists, ladies and gentlemen. Today, my presentation is focusing on teaching and learning. So it's a bit different from the previous two presenters who are talking about internationalization and talking about focus in a certain aspect of internationalization. And I'm focusing on teaching and learning. And what I'm going to present is, the flow is, I'm going to present the present scenario, and I'm going to share the exploration of what other countries are doing, what other countries are facing, and what are the challenges that everybody is facing, and how we are going together to solve the problem. If we cannot solve all, but collaborative effort is very important, as what the two previous speakers have mentioned. So my presentation entitled Transitioning Teaching and Learning in the Higher Education New Realm. The worsening COVID-19 situation has led to the closure of schools and universities around the world, impacting millions of students. The dramatic spread of COVID-19 has disrupted life, livelihood, communities, and business worldwide. Look, our lecture hall is all empty. Campus was closed. Students were sent back home. Coronavirus has changed how students are educated around the world. Those changes give us a glimpse at how education could change for the better and the worse in the long term with the coronavirus spreading. So before I proceed, let us see what's happening in other parts of the world. UK universities switching to online lectures and examination. According to The Guardian, Imperial College London, medical students take final exams online for the first time despite student concern. And also, Oxford and Cambridge universities are to replace this summer's exams with online assessment. All are related to online teaching and learning. And I would also like to quote what the Pro-Vice-Chancellor for Education of Oxford University, Prof. Martin Williams, in the website of the university in March 2020. There would be no conventional exam next term, and the university is expected to include open book exams taken remotely and submitted online. So everything is online, and Oxford is also doing the same, and Monash in Australia is also going online, and here we have University of Montreal moving assessment and final exams online. What's happening in Malaysia? COVID-19, what are the Malaysia's public universities doing? In Malaysia, this equates to the 4.9 million school students and 1.2 million in higher education institutions across public and private universities, polytechnics and community college, including about 130,000 international students, some who have returned home before the Movement Control Order, the MCO. So naturally, focus has turned into online learning and more than just a substitute to ensure that education continues. Also here, although the shift towards online learning was made at short notice, it has accelerated new forms of pedagogy and digital initiative from the government in the form of new e-learning tools. A reckoning for online learning in times of crisis, where faculty, staff, and students at universities and colleges across the country have risen the challenge imposed by closing campuses and switching to remote learning. And the problem now, how to meet higher education learning gaps during the COVID-19 crisis. How to apply this momentary solution to improve resilience in higher education in years ahead. So let's see. Let's peep at the digital 2020. The world has changed dramatically over the first 3 months of 2020 with COVID-19 pandemic impacting almost every aspect of the world. Look at the digital features, digital around the world. In April, it's very recent, less than 1 month old data. The latest data show that the number of internet users and social media users around the world have both increased by more than 300 million over the past 12 months. So the data indicate that 4.57 million people now using the internet, and the increase of more than 7% since this the time last year. And also, social media users are growing even faster.
Sorry, Prof. Noraza, is it possible you could put your presentation slide in a bigger view mode, the presentation mode? A lot of our panelists, our participants were asking, can it be bigger? Use slideshow. Can you click on your slideshow?
Yeah, I'm using slideshow now.
Yeah, okay. All right, it's okay. Please.
For the social media platform, Facebook is leading. So, the new normal higher education, are you familiar with the picture? Over the past few weeks, 1 month, the switch to wholly online learning has been represented by live video meetings, screenshots of students and faculty in their so-called Hollywood square boxes are emerging icons of the new post-secondary order. So everybody is enjoying the virtual classroom with various platforms. We have Zoom, we have Google Meet, we have Teams, we have WebEx like today, and online learning has become a promising pathway, allowing for greater scale where students can design a path that fits their lifestyle. Of course, we face challenges when we are implementing the online learning. Are we reaching the new normal, students? Do we provide them with sufficient learning experience? What about students themselves? Are they satisfied with the learning online? How about the digital divide? Let's see what other countries from other parts of the world who have passed the COVID-19 pandemic prior to us. Before we strategize on the management, let's see. Let's explore the transformation of education in China. China's booming online education industry brings new opportunities. China's speedy recovery initiative, from the Ministry of Education, they developed at least 3 websites. That's their initiative. 3 websites. The website is called Keep Teaching for the lecturers, Keep Learning for the students, Keep Working for the staff. So all the 3, they have complete synergy. They work together to really excel in the teaching and learning. And look, China's initiative, disrupted classes, undistracted learning. So it doesn't matter whether the class is disrupted, but learning makes sure it is working. So on the 7th of February, the Ministry of Education, China, presented a national plan for higher education institutions that would provide 24,000 universities level courses for more than 20 online platforms. So it looks like China really go all out for the online learning. And I also refer to the writing by Professor Michael Epstein, the Vice President of Education, who shared the experiences of transitioning to online education in China during the pandemic. At least 3 perspectives from educators in China. Something is always better than nothing. Means the online transition may be overwhelming and unfamiliar, but it is crucial that education must continue. You can't afford not to. You can't afford not to. You have to go on. So if the entire school system were to shut down, no one would graduate or advance. So they have to go on. You have more tools than you think. So make full use of the tools that we have. Be prepared for the long haul. There are several, when COVID-19 developed in China, schools had no choice but to rely on online process. So it's important for educators to look at this transition as long-term, which may require reassessing the current curriculum so it can be easily accessed online. As what the first speaker mentioned just now, we don't know when it's going to stop, but we have to think that it will be long. So plan for hearts, plan for minds is very touching. So really take care. The online experience may be completely new to some lecturers, to some professors, meaning they will likely need to plan lessons with much more detail than they used to. But this is the commitment that we have to do. Do it with our heart. Plan with the wholehearted so that we really deliver what we intend to. Continuously assess results. So this is exactly what learning designers are doing. Assessment is very important. Do not neglect your network and hardware strengthen your IT, train your lecturers. This is exactly what the teaching and learning centers are doing, our pengajaran UKM. All for your information, all universities, all public universities and private universities, they have their own center for teaching and learning. So those centers play a big role in training the lecturers. Put people at the core. So we have to really, although great technology can help create the nurturing and supportive environment for student growth and online learning, but it's the people that will make it happen. So put people at the core. So that's what I shared, the 10 perspective from China. And now Italy. Afterwards, I will share with you why I choose Italy. Italy is gradually returned to normal after pandemic, and it is refocusing attention on e-learning. Among the many issues at stake, the coronavirus is refocusing attention on e-learning and strategic importance of quality, open access multimedia learning for the public higher education sector. Here you go, MOOC, massive online open courses. Why I'm very close to MOOC? Because I would like to share with the other distinguished panelists. Malaysia, about I think 6-7 years ago, has spent about maybe 1 million, on developing MOOCs. We use the open learning platform. So Italy is really leveraging on MOOCs that have helped teaching during the pandemic. So the quality of teaching, and here I share the MOOC. The University of Naples, Federico, provide insight into one of the biggest MOOC-based experience in the country, where more than 100 professors work together integrating MOOCs and use Microsoft Teams to hold lessons. So collaborative effort with all the professors is very important, and UKM has I think quite number of MOOCs. So lesson from Italy, we can make full use of our MOOCs and we can leverage on that. Now enhancing learning, advisors and coaches help students be successful. So it's good for, I would like to share with other panelists, the restructuring of the organization of each faculty really beneficial to, especially during the pandemic, because we have the assistant dean for learning. So they are the advisor and coach for each faculty. And I would like to share, this is the learning management system which is just redesigned, launched a few months back. This is learning management system of Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia of UKM. It is redesigned in such a way that all the features meet the requirement of active learning and futuristic learning. For other panelists' information, each university has its own center for teaching and learning. Each university has its own learning management system, and during the pandemic, and to make full use and the application of online learning, an efficient learning management system is very important. So, if I can share what UKM is having, we have training, we have e-books uploaded in the learning management system. We have continuous workshops organized by the center. They make sure that it reach everybody in Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia, and I'm sure other universities are doing too. For my faculty as a dean, how I really activate the active learning during the pandemic, the online learning. I came up with a task force for the online learning experts. We identified 7 online learning experts that really, this is at the faculty level. So we have many workshops going on, every week. So to make sure that all the lecturers are really well versed with the latest technology, and the online learning works well. So these are some of the workshops done by the faculty, so organized by the faculty. And this is some of the ebook by the UKM, uploaded at UKM Folio. So the transitioning teaching and learning in higher education in the new norms, really shifting from event to series, that the big chunk should be done in small chunking. And we should build positive digital experience. So from the university going into faculties, and we bring it all together, and we have to look ahead and looking for the latest technology and be positive about it. Of course, there are challenges, infrastructure. I think this is also faced by other faculties, by other universities, but I didn't share here, but the initiative by the university giving the free data to the students really very beneficial for the students. The students are very happy with the with the news, and also challenges in the online examination. So of course, teaching and learning has challenges, and also when we do examination online, there are many challenges. Lack of awareness. Not everybody in the university are aware of the importance of the online examination. So it's very important from the university level to the faculty level or center of excellence level to really promote on the awareness of the online teaching and learning and examination. And the second challenge is resistance to change. Not everybody likes to change the way they are practicing their teaching and learning habit. Or they think they feel that it's good and they are comfortable with it. But I think in my opinion, with the best practices being shown to this group, the resistance can be minimized. Security concern, some of them are scared, that the security is not taken care of. There are questions being leaking and so on. So this, I'm very sure that the Center for Teaching and Learning have taken precaution, have installed certain software to take care of the security. And also communication gap with the student and the infrastructure just now. So the COVID-19 pandemic has changed education forever, we don't know. And transitioning teaching and learning in higher education, new norm, a new realm here, where in my takeaway note, higher education institution should seize the opportunity to transform pedagogy to meet the needs of the next generation students who are accustomed to the technology-enabled pedagogy culture. So everybody has to go through the paradigm shift, and the culture should be institutionalized. It should be top-down so that it responds to the demands of the digital era. Because If we don't do it now, then when? When are we going to start? And the way forward? Online learning allows universities to meet new normal students where they are both academically and personally exist. And I would like to end this presentation by asking, if we don't change now, when? If not you, or if not us, who? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Dr. Norazah. Such an interesting sharing of what's being taken place all over the world, and sharing as well the journey of Malaysia in dealing, especially UKM, in dealing with this. And Dr. Norazah, maybe we can look forward to work with Professor Nordin for the Higher Education Leadership Academy, and come out with online modules for training, especially for new future leaders of Malaysian academic institutions as well. Thank you very much.
Looking forward to that.
Thank you very much, Dato. In the recent QS report titled The New Virtual Student Journey, in a time of such unprecedented global disruption, a new student journey has emerged. Institutions that can offer new opportunities for engagement and leverage the data from online exchanges will excel in this new path forward. If not now, when? I think that's such an exciting thing, where we have to see, well, everyone's just got to jump into the bandwagon and, go on this wild ride, this roller coaster ride that we're still unsure of. Thank you very much, Dr. Norazah. And I would like to, if you have any questions, please type them out in the Q&A section on the right side of your computer as well. Okay, I would like to introduce the next speaker. Attorney Lily Freda C. Masabangun Mila is the officer in charge of the Office of the Deputy Executive Director and concurrently the Director of the International Affairs Staff of the Commission on Higher Education. She graduated with a degree of Social Sciences, major in Economics and Political Science from the University of the Philippines, Manila, and finished her Bachelor of Laws in the University of Philippines, Diliman campus. Now, presently, she is the Secretary General of the University Mobility in Asia and the Pacific, UMAP, Philippines National Secretariat. She is also part of the ASEAN Socio-Cultural Community, which is focal for higher education in the Philippines, among other representations. She has chaired several senior-level meetings within the region and spoken and presented on various topics in higher education in global platforms. She has also been recognized by the University of the Philippines College of Law for her distinguished achievements in public service. Now, this is an amazing, she's the face of higher education internationalization in the Philippines. You will be able to meet Attorney Lily Freda in various high-level meetings around the world. And myself, coming from the international office, we are honored to have you here today. And I've participated in various sharings that you've made, and we look forward to hearing from you. I welcome you for your presentation.
Thank you, Dr. Latif. And of course, acknowledgements to Dr. Nordin Yahya, Director of AKEPT, Vice Chancellor also of UKM, who gave the opening message, dear friend Dr. Latif, the Director of the International Center, my distinguished co-panelists, thank you. I feel so honored to be among such distinguished and very experienced panelists, and to the almost 500 participants. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, at whatever time zones you are in right now. And of course, congratulations to UKM on your 50th, your golden anniversary. Is that May 18th, you said?
4 days time, yeah, May 18th, yeah.
Yeah, because CHED, the Commission on Higher Education, also its anniversary on May 18th. It's we're closing our 25th year. And so that's why we have this great association. Our chairman has a great partnership with your chancellor.
Thank you.
And of course, yes, and the vice chancellor. UKM is one of the most active universities that have a lot of partnership with our Philippine universities, and we truly value this collaboration. So for the Philippines, when the president declared the national emergency, health emergency for the entire Philippines. And the Metro Manila and the Luzon Islands were put into enhanced community quarantine. Our chairperson, Dr. J. Prosper III, immediately said that learning must continue. The approach to education should be anchored in the premise that learning must continue, quarantine or not. And learning must continue, and therefore it's everybody's responsibility to ensure that flexible learning is delivered during and after this crisis. He also reminded, reminded the universities of their responsibility that higher education institutions are the repositories of innovation and the vanguards of change. Next slide, please. Next slide. So the impact of COVID-19 on education is very clear. No? This is a UNESCO data. 1.52 billion learners are affected. 60.2 million teachers are no longer in the classroom. Okay. And for the Philippines, that is 2.9 million higher education learners who are affected. And we have 1,598 child scholars, students, faculty who are abroad and are affected. We are able to repatriate already about 400 of them, but we're still expecting once the quarantine is lifted and the border restrictions are also lifted, we can all bring them back. And as pointed out earlier, the impact is projected to be about 5 years. But notwithstanding this bleak scenario, the imperative to educate and train people.
Sorry, Lily, your microphone is not really stable. Is it possible? Sorry. We can't hear you. You have to unmute. Yeah.
Is it okay now? Is it okay? Okay. So as I said, the impact of education is really staggering. But for us, we should not stop. Even with this bleak scenario, the imperative to educate and train people with adaptability, innovativeness, and resilience that will revive economies must be a crucial priority for all countries. Next slide, please. So our immediate response in the Philippines was that our commission issued 6 advisories so far. So initially there were health guidelines and safety protocols for our higher education institutions. Classes of face-to-face classes were all suspended, and there were directives to the students and staff abroad to fill in this monitoring form so that we can account where they are and what are their situation. And we work with the Department of Foreign Affairs for this. The academic calendars were also adjusted. There is a suspension of graduation ceremonies and all huge gatherings, no more conferences, meetings, etc. And there was an instruction on the deployment of the distance mode and other alternative delivery arrangements to end the SEM. For those who were in the old calendar, the directive for them was to end the semester by March 30. And for those that have used the new calendar, meaning they opened in August, they were still given about 1 more year, but no more face-to-face classes. And the imperative is not really on online learning, but on what we call flexible learning. And we define flexible learning, the operative and integrative definition for us of flexible learning, as espoused by Dr. Edison Fermin of the National Teachers College, is flexible learning is the design and delivery of programs, courses, and interventions that address learners' unique needs in terms of pace, place, process, and products of learning. And while it focuses on essential experiences, content, and outcomes, it shall also promote learner control and customizability, thus making it different from other instructional designs. So for the flexible learning, we both have the wired flexible learning options and the non-wired flexible learning options. You have to understand that the Philippines has 7,641 islands. And our connectivity is, well, not very good. It's very intermittent. So there is also discussion with the ministry, with the Department of ICT, so that we can so that we can bring greater connectivity to our campuses. But of course, the reality is there is a lot of work to be done. So that's why the option is also looking into man-wired flexible learning options like correspondence learning, project-based learning, radio broadcast learning, and television broadcast learning. This one, we will look closely on this because I think every home in the Philippines will have access on radio, and for the cable networks, for the local networks. There's also deliver on demand learning kits and special circulation periodicals. But it is more than just the delivery. We are also needing in terms of content. We're also needing in terms of content. That's why CHED is rolling a massive capacity building for faculty and staff on flexible learning. And we are putting together also expertise so that content may be developed in a flexible delivery, learning modality. That's why we're also calling our international partners and our international and for international engagement for this needed, both for the needed capacity building and for the content development of these modules. That's why we call it the global collective for CHED. And our vision is that together, we can truly collaborate and enrich the resources that we have, not just in the Philippines, but usually. Next slide, please. 2020 could have been a banner year for internationalization of Philippine higher education. We had the highest budget to date after several years of really working for it. We have over 1 billion of budget just for internationalization. And we were really pushing 25 universities, supporting them in their internationalization programs, study of the Philippines, a lot of the research collaborations. Latif knows this. We were working on the professional advancement courses, on transnational education, etc. But yeah, we were a little bit, we were not scampering. What we did was we recalibrated. We calibrated our programs. Well, realistically, what can still be done within the remaining 6 months, but for the others, how we can transform them either on an online platform, or how we can now also focus, this support for our universities as they adapt to the new normal. As I said, we have 1,598 students abroad. 780 of them are under the Student Internship Abroad program. This is one challenge we're going to face now because we send students abroad under international internship. But our chairman said that we may need to rethink the mobility programs at least for a year. And right now, we're still working together with the other agencies on repatriating and bringing back our scholars and students. Next slide. Okay, next slide. We've conducted a research together with Dr. Christine Ferrer of the Tarlac Agricultural University of activities, internationalization activities before, during, and after COVID. And you will see that previously, before COVID, they were more into accepting regular foreign students and outbound exchange program. The focus after or post-COVID would be more research collaboration, e-learning, distance, and online instruction, collaborative online conferences, webinars like this, and of course, strengthening and expanding our capacity in terms of flexible learning. We will continue to generate this kind of research. Student engagement is also another area that we're looking into, so that we can really get data from the ground on how the universities are adopting. Next slide. Next slide, please. There is no going back to the old normal. That is one reality that we must all face. To go back is to become vulnerable again to future disruptions without learning our lessons. And in the case of the Philippines, there is a strong drive to systematically abandon the concept of returning to the normal and vigorously pursue processes that will help reimagine its quality, accessibility, and sustainability in the new normal. That's why we have formed a multi-sectoral group right now in the Philippines, not just the region, but our stakeholders, including communities and businesses, so that we can work from the stage of the transition to the transformation to the new normal within the systems of contextualizing, analyzing, and operationalizing new dimensions of continuity of learning and connectivism. And for us in the international education sector, I think it is in our DNA to be agile, resilient, and innovative. So disruptions like this will not totally shatter us. It's actually an opportunity for us to recreate, reimagine, and reconfigure possibilities. But there is always going to be a constant. And for us, the constant is still the sustainable goals of 2030. It must still remain as the new normal, as the framework under the new normal. Because achieving the said goals are more relevant now, more than ever. It is our best shot in addressing collectively the global issues that plague us in a global, targeted, and impactful way. More than ever, we realize that our fates as human beings are intertwined and reconnected. It is by this collective effort in a meaningful framework for everyone that we can truly overcome future pandemics, disasters, disruptions, and the uncertainties of tomorrow. And we really expect our universities to integrate the sustainable development in their operations, in their teaching, curricular resources, research, and strategies. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide. We've been talking about partnership. And yes, we truly believe that global partnership is still key to successful internationalization programs and activities during and post-COVID. The resources have to be maximized if the global partnerships are harnessed to bring in experts present in the universities to teach through online platforms and flexible learning modes. That's why opportunities like this can really be a good way for us to connect and find that expertise. Because why would we, if one university already has the resources, then we can share also what is the resources in the Philippines and contextualize that. But remember, the partnerships that we must have now must be meaningful partnerships that will build on our capacities based on diverse and contextualized needs of the partners. Next slide. Our partnerships also must now go beyond just counting how many MOUs we had, how many foreign students do we have in our campus, transnational education, because now we must be able to reimagine education or internationalization as it fortifies and strengthens our existing partnership, but at the same time expanding it, while pursuing these engagements that do not rely on physical presence alone. As pointed out by Professor Shingo, we have the good practice on the collaborative online international learning program, wherein we are able to have a collaborative online pedagogy partnership among professors and students across institutions, across cultures and disciplines. So we are really excited to work on this platform with other universities. The virtual internships and the immersion programs that has been floated in a lot of the webinar, and we would like to learn more on how we can do that. But I think the key there really is opening up, and as pointed out by Ms. Martinez, really opening up and sharing with the resources that way we do not have to, we don't have to duplicate or replicate if we can have that resources through our partners. We would like to have a localized delivery of our international programs, because this will enable our institutions to continue embracing the power of community through internationalization while understanding the needs of our individual students, teachers, and communities. And therefore, content sharing is also important for us. We would like these multiple platforms for partnerships to continue, webinars, online conferences, but I am missing the networking. I hope we need to, and I think Zoom has that, I don't know whether WebEx has that, wherein we can break out, there can be breakout rooms, because the sharing and can still be done through that breakout rooms. We did that in one of our training or webinar sessions. And sometimes people are more freely to talk when they are also in smaller groups. So I hope in our future webinars we can have some rooms where they can still continue to network. Next slide. And this is my last slide. Our passion for internationalization and pursuing international education will never subside. It will never wane. The passion will always be there. But under the new normal, and the previous title of the webinar rightfully put it, we must embrace it, and embrace it with a passion for internationalization. Internationalization is the key platform for continuity, creativity, and connectivity under the new normal, because we ensure the continuity of learning by instilling creativity in teaching, learning, sharing, and collaborating, and by widening the connectivity not only digitally but also through the programs, deliveries, and our shared vision. Thank you. Terima kasih. Maraming salamat. Happy anniversary again, UKM.
Salamat. Thank you very much, Tani Lilifreda. Thank you very much. It's so interesting to hear about what you've mentioned about what's happening in the Philippines with the advisory audit that you've been issuing out. It's a very systematic approach to deal in a time of crisis. And I would also like to share the Ministry of Higher Education Malaysia has also been extensively working with the higher education institutions, organizing students being in campus, and even to the extent of how to send them back to their hometowns. Everything had to be meticulously done, and that's always a challenge, but it's also very interesting. And I also like one more point that you mentioned about reimagining internationalization and about strengthening and expanding meaningful and equitable friendships. It's not about how many MOUs you have, it's about the friendship you build. And this is also in support with what Professor Martinez had actually mentioned earlier about the friendship that we've built. And that has always been the core essence of internationalization. It's about building bridges, it's about uniting with one another, and that has been a core focus of all of us here. And we miss doing that, isn't it? We miss networking with one another as well. Thank you. Now, we're going to the Q&A section. We have about 20 minutes for the Q&A. We hope to end this by 11:30 GMT plus 8. And there are some questions that we've had. If you do have questions, please put it in the Q&A section. I think one of the questions that could be asked to Prof. Ashizawa, for example, the question is on virtual mobility, the concept of virtual mobility. How successful will it be? What are the criteria of a virtual mobility? And in a way, how can virtual internship take place? I'm taking into account the spirit of virtual mobility. Those are some of the concerns. Now, for all the participants out there, we are merging your questions, and we're coming up with just one question. There's some similar questions coming up. We're merging that, and we will try to ask on your behalf as well. Yes, Prof. Ashizawa.
Okay. Can I use my PowerPoint slides just to quickly talk about the? Okay, so I need to be a moderator, a panelist. Okay, good. Thank you. Okay, so I think the concept is quite boundary between the virtual exchange and virtual mobility is slightly ambiguous and difficult to define yet. But I think in my definition, online cross registration can be called virtual mobility. And people can actually take internationally you can take other schools courses using this model. But virtual exchange is more like an interaction between the teachers and the students. Sometimes you could work with students from other institutions or other countries. So these two boundaries not completely defined explicitly yet, but I think online cross-registration model is more like a static model using existing resources, and we call it we could call it virtual mobility. And the virtual exchange is more active model. So virtual mobility is relatively easy to implement because courses are already, almost every courses are online now. And you can just open your course to other university students. So we can just create a online cross-registration format. Maybe UMAP has its own online system, so your student can register your existing course through the UMAP online system. So this part is, if each university agree, it's not so difficult to implement. But second one, online joint classroom or hybrid model, teachers must collaborate, work together, and it's a little bit more time consuming and more effort. But I think both are feasible model, and we actually done at the UMAP COIL program last year, and there are a COIL model has been implemented many universities. 9 universities in Japan already started by receiving a government grant since 2018. So we have already good example or good practices using COIL model. As you may know, COIL started in SUNY system, State of University of New York. They have, I think they have already started in 2004. So this model has been exercised in quite different schools. So I think it's already a feasible model, but I think if you start from the scratch, you have to find a partner, you have to set up some standard platform for the resource sharing. So that is a little bit time-consuming process. Do I answer your questions?
Yeah, you do. Thank you very much, Prof. Shizawa. I think one of the interests as well is a lot of universities are now having to do, for example, a virtual summer program or virtual exchange programs, and I think the readiness. If I could also interject, maybe the nature of the courses that we could teach online could be more specific, but I do agree it's far more challenging for some cultural activities or something involving environmental study where you want to feel and experience it as well, and that's quite a challenge. But that's quite interesting.
It's feasible, but it takes some energy. We work really collaboratively.
True. Thank you very much, Professor Shizawa. We also have another question here, maybe as Professor Shizawa, Prof. Martinez. Online is one of the solutions for joint classes, but how do we solve the different time zone issues? I know, Professor Martinez, you just say, disregard the time zone, we're in a new normal already. How do you provide support to the students in this matter, to have an online classroom late at night or early in the morning and all that? Yeah.
Okay, so thank you very much for this question. That could be like something very simple, and if not, what I tell my students is, okay, now is not a game. It's real life, guys. So when you go and work outside, you really need to adapt because now, and I like to talk all the time about Marshall McLuhan, who a long time ago, a futurist, you, Dr. Latif, and me, who are from the communication major, we know that Professor Marshall McLuhan, exactly, the global village. So he said a long time ago, in the future, we will be like a little village where everybody will be connected. Of course, internet was not part of our life. Now, this is the global village. So we are now in the future for Mr. McLuhan. So it's interesting. So it's interesting because this is a way we need also to talk and discuss with the students about the importance of understanding and be empathic with the others. So of course it's a challenge. It's always a thing that leaders at the institution ask me about, okay, but what's going on with the so different times in the world, and mainly with the different in Asia. And I say, for example, now we have to adapt and we have to switch one day and one other. For example, now is the turn of our night. In the next time will be the turn of our morning. So we need to learn. We also need to put the students in the same table, trying to put in the feet of the other and just understand how the reality is. And let me tell you something. I think that younger generations are those who really don't care these little things. They are awakened too late, and sometimes if they are enthusiastic in the activities, it's just an amazing thing. So I think we need to motivate them. We need to tell them that it's not something that is mandatory and that is boring. It's part of the adventure, and that's all. Of course, it's challenging, but we can work it out.
Thank you. We're talking about the digital natives. This is just, they were born with the mobile phone next to them, basically. It's the digital migrants like us that are trying to cope with the whole thing. And they are saying, what's the problem? But, you know, they could. But it's interesting that you've highlighted McLuhan. Now, McLuhan also talked about technological determinism, and also the medium is the message, which is something very, very relevant today. So for a communications scholar in the 1960s, he's really looking at what's happening 60 years down the road already. So that's quite an interesting perspective. Thank you.
And you know, just Dr. Latif, just one last comment. Yeah. Something that I highlighted in my presentation is that we don't have to forget exactly what you say. They are generation set. Yeah. So they are native in all technologies. So they learn easier than us and get adapted to do all those things.
True.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
I just 200% agree with Dr. Martinez. Yeah. And also we really need to be more creative, and you don't have to think everything should be live delivery for the COIL program or virtual exchange. Students can post some comment and communicate each other. Students can work together in different ways. So time difference could be overcome because already we have some good practices. So in September we have a COIL workshop in Osaka, and the Kansai University offer quite an extensive workshop. They show interesting model overcome the time differences. So
thank you, Prof. Ashizawa. I think you've got a fan base now. There's so many people who's interested with some of the programs that you are offering. I hope that will continue on with more webinars and more online program sessions as well. Thank you very much. I have a question for Prof. Datuk Noraza. The question is on what is the best approach to conduct final exams for university students during COVID-19 and issues with online exams? And I'm merging this with a question. Now, we are always in fear of students cheating, you know, and I think should we be in a position now where we're teaching about ethics rather than, you know, being fearful of these new challenges?
Okay, first of all, I would like to apologize because just now, only after the presentation, I saw people talking about my presentation, but in mine I put it under slideshow. I don't know how it came out like that. So I would like to apologize. A question on how what is the best
More for online exam, yeah.
For online examination. Okay, it depends on the nature. Depends on the nature of the course. Okay. For example, if the course, if it's about 30% and it's only MCQ, multiple choice, it can be done online. However, whatever we do, we have to study our target group. If from our survey that our students cannot have access to internet, we have to transform. We have to change the final exam that we usually conduct into continuous evaluation, such as come up with project, mini project, structured questions, and so on. Another alternative is online examination can also be done via open book. Many universities abroad are doing it. I think Malaysia University are also starting to do it. So let's say you have to open. I think UKM have the feature to do it in order to cater for the needs of internet access for all. Maybe you can on the exam maybe 24 hours. Okay, maybe from 12 midnight until 12 midnight the other on another day. So once the student log in, maybe you can say the exam is 2 hours. Okay, so they have 2 hours to finish. So there are so many alternatives to do it. But as for now, like from my faculty, my experience, we transform all into continuous evaluation and presentation. And I think quizzes, no problem. UKM Folio has a very good feature for quizzes. And also about, just now I think I also share about the people are skeptical about exam online. Okay, I have checked during my my webinar presentation at pengajaran. I think 2 or 3 weeks back, I was presenting on peperiksaan akhir, final exam online. Actually, there is a software to avoid students from cheating online examination. So if I can share the online, how students cheat. They can impersonate, they can have extra help, they can have easy navigation and so on. However, there is a software that we can install, and I really hope that pengajaran has this software, work together with ICT Center about the online exam management system. There are 2 actually that I can suggest, which is always being applied, being used by international company who is conducting or who is supplying the software for the examination. It's called 3-step authentication, 3-step authentication and proctoring. So if I can explain about 3-step authentication is 3-step. Why 3-step? They will have photo verification, ID verification, and quick authentication via your OTP. And another one is auto proctoring. The auto proctoring, they will have facial detection, like for your handphone. So when you when you log in, the system will detect your face.
All right.
Make sure that it is you that is that is having the exam. And another one is the auto proctoring. Another feature is detection of mobile phone, and the third one, detection of candidate distraction. If anybody distract you or have they disturb you or helping you, the software can detect, and also detection of multiple people. helping you
Helping
to
you out.
answer the question. So,
Thank you.
so
Thank you.
the software. And another one, they also have live proctoring. Live proctoring, they can, usually when during examination in the hall, we have the lecturer to be the invigilator, right?
Yeah.
So here we have the invigilator, but online.
Right.
You can see like Windows, like in the Zoom. So the invigilator online will make announcements,
be monitoring
get yes,
okay.
and they have live webcam screen that really fit to applicants taking the test. Yeah, they make sure that it's authentic.
So there's still
there are
surveillance on that
software.
matter. How do we actually teach them more about ethics rather than
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Of course, that is the software.
Okay.
That is, I think, that is the soft skill.
Okay. That takes time. Yeah. It takes time.
That takes time.
Thank you.
But takes time, but it's lasting.
Lasting. Yeah. Thank you very much, Dato.
It's lasting.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's lasting. It's worth it. You've got to invest in that now. So that will be something that will be captured throughout with you. Okay, one final question to Attorney Lily Frida. Could online learning ultimately solve multiple problems that are threatening higher education now, such as escalating student debt and tuition rates and dwindling access? Now, we know that Philippines is challenged with digital divide. But now with a lot of things taking place online, could this reduce tuition fees and thus student debt and have a greater impact of their life in the future? Just like your opinion on that. And would it be, and how would this be a challenge to universities that are profit oriented, if everything's just online and, it's quite difficult for them to charge the fees and all that? What do you think of that being in a ministry?
Yes, actually, our private universities are already trying out.
Yeah. We can't clearly hear you, Lily. Yeah.
Okay, is this okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Our universities are in fact very much affected. They're coming up with a proposal for a stimulus package to address our private universities for support. The public universities, we have no problem about that because tuition in the Philippines is already free in the public universities. But for private universities that constitute about 80%, that is really going to be a problem. But we're looking into that one with the stimulus package, support also for our students in terms of the needs for the digital learning. But as I said, it is not so much the emphasis on the online learning. We are really the messaging is more on flexible learning because we really want to tap into the non-wired, especially the non-wired flexible learning options that our universities are more capable.
All right. Thank you very much. I know there's more questions to ask, but we will, if that's okay to the panelists, if it's possible, if you could share your email or your PowerPoint slides to the participants today. There's, over 400 participants came in, and there's a lot of questions, but we're a bit short of time. I would just like to say thank you very much to all the panelists here today. I think it's been very, very stimulating. I've learned so many things. I've heard so many success stories, sharing of experiences, how different we are in terms of regionally located, but how similar we are in dealing with our current enemy right now, which is COVID-19. Thank you very much to the four panelists. We truly appreciate this. I would like to say thank you to Professor Dr. Nordin Yahya, Director for Higher Education Leadership Academy, and Team Higher Education Leadership Academy, AKEPT, for actually organizing this, decide to organize this with Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia. We are very, very happy, and this commemorates closely to our 50th year anniversary as well. And this sharing of knowledge is something that we hope to continue on in the future, and we'll definitely invite all of you again to participate. Thank you very much. I'll now pass this to Mr. Hafiz to just end the whole session today. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you so much, Associate Professor Dr. Abdul Latif Rahman, our moderator for today. Thank you again to our four speakers, Prof. Shingo, Prof. Adriana, Prof. Datuk Nur Azah, Lily, And also to our honorable guest, Professor Datuk Dr. Insinyur Muhammad Hamdi Abdul Syukur, our Vice Chancellor of Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia, Professor Dr. Nordin Yahya, the Director of the Higher Education Leadership, AKEPT. Yes, thank you, and importantly to AKEPT for collaborating with UKM, and we hope that we can continue to become your strategic partner in the many more years to come. So with that, we have reached to the end of our event today. On behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to extend our warm gratitude to all our respected guests. As a reminder, so we have 3 more series, our Global Talk series coming up. So every one of you, as what Dr. Latif mentioned, will be invited, and we hope to garner more participants in the coming GTS series. Okay, to all our participants for the Global Talk series today, we believe that everyone has gained a handful of awe-inspiring input. So apologies for any shortcomings from us, all right? Okay, with that, I'm Hafiz from UKM Global. Would like to thank you again. Thank you, gracias, arigato gozaimasu, kamsahamnida, selamat saya, sisine, and terima kasih everyone. So we have a 1.5 minutes compilation of videos that we received from our friends and partners. So enjoy our UKM Happy 50th Anniversary from our partners, friends, and students abroad. Have a great day ahead and see you again soon.
Selamat Hari Jadi untuk Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia yang ke-50.
I just wanted to wish you again a happy 50th anniversary. Terima kasih.
Happy 50 years anniversary of UKM.
Selamat Hari Jadi UKM.
Happy 50th anniversary. Congratulations.
Wishing you 50th anniversary UKM. Tanya.
Happy 50th anniversary UKM.
Hello, we are 3 students and we wanted to say
Joyeux anniversaire UKM.
Happy 50th anniversary UKM.
Happy 50th anniversary to UKM.
Terima kasih.
Happy birthday UKM.
Happy 50th anniversary UKM. Congratulations.
Selamat Hari Jadi. Happy 50th birthday UKM.
Felices 50 años UKM.
Maligayang ika-50 taong anibersaryo UKM.
Chào mừng 50 năm kỷ niệm ngày thành lập trường Đại học Quốc gia Malaysia.
Happy 5th anniversary for UKM. Thank you, terima kasih.
Maligayang ika-50 taong anibersaryo UKM.
สุขสันต์วันครบรอบ 50 ปี UKM นะคะ
UKM 50주년 개교기념일도 진심으로 축하드립니다.
Happy 50th anniversary and congratulations!
Happy 50th anniversary UKM!